be honest, I really wanted to get something in the magazine because, you know, that's what I did last year, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is fun, I'm gonna submit more stuff. And I had this idea a little bit back in this, earlier in the school year, and the idea was to write a book based on the poem, the original poem, Monocle Jack, and I would continue with his stories. And so I was like, hey, why don't I submit one of his stories? It'll motivate me to get the rest of the stories done, and, you know, I can submit something to Delphi. And so that's what I did. I wrote a bunch of titles down that seemed to be good ideas, and I showed them to Mr. Cannibal, and he he insulted most of them, but he chose two that he liked, which were Monocle Jack Buys a House, the one that I wrote, and Wind Up Annabelle, which should be another one. So I wrote down the titles, which, you know, sort of ideas, and so I didn't really have a plot out at all until I really sat down and looked at it, but, you know, it wasn't that hard to come up with, you know, because Monocle Jack is kind of quirky, so I sort of wanted to stick around with that. I do feel pretty satisfied. I mean, we're gonna work on it some more, so that, you know, so that we sort of iron out all the little bumps in it. But, you know, I think it's pretty good. It's gonna be pretty awesome when it's actually finished. Well, I don't know, I guess it's one of those things, it's like material, you know, when the house falls down. It's just cardboard, right? It's pretty much saying that material things are not that important, and what you actually want, it doesn't have to be big and impressive or expensive. It just has to be what you want. And if you want something that's like big and expensive and whatnot, that's fine, but, you know, you shouldn't have to live up to society's standards. You know, pretty much just be yourself. The story inspired me, and I was planning on writing, I was planning on doing a picture for each story for my book anyway, so I was like, hey, why don't I knock out two birds with one stone? So that's what I did, and you know, as I said before, Monocle Jack is extremely quirky, like, yeah, so I wanted to use lots of colors in it. So there are lots of different bright, you know, colors. There's purple in the sky, yellow over here, red, you know, blue. It's quite entertaining. Pretty much I wrote the story first, and I pictured the main street and all the asymmetrical buildings that just like, okay, that's cool. Little wave going on over here, kind of round. Pretty much just lots of colors is what I imagined, and yeah, that's about it. I think when it's done, it's gonna look pretty awesome, so yeah,